All right. Welcome back, everybody. We got part two for our beginners night going on tonight. I'm Matt Millen. If you didn't already know, I'm the founder of the Denver Crypto Group. And yeah, really excited to be bringing you all some of this basic kind of foundational information and education on how to get started into crypto and Bitcoin the right way. Yeah, I think we're probably just going to hop right into it. If you didn't catch the part one, go check that out. That's also on the channel here. We covered setting up a Proton Mail email account, getting LastPass password manager installed in there, and doing some two-factor stuff, second factor authentication to make sure those emails and password managers are secure. So yeah, that's where you want to start. Part two, we're going to be covering setting up a Ledger Nano S as in Sierra. And if we've got time, like exchange accounts and a few other things, we'll see how quickly I can get through the Ledger setup. You got to write down those words, and it takes a little bit of time. So there may be a part three, hopefully not. But yeah, quick plug before we jump into it. Obviously, I run the Denver Crypto Group. We offer one-on-one consulting for really any facet of the cryptosphere. I've helped everybody from investment banks to middle schoolers, and people 70 plus years old down to about 12 or 13 with their parents there, setting up their crypto wallets. So if you have any questions about really anything related to cryptocurrency, reach out to me. It's just Matt, M-A-T-T, at denvercryptogroup.com. Happy to take care of you. So yeah, that being said, I'm just going to hop right into it here, and let's get rolling. Do a quick screen share here. Okay. So, where we left off last time was me getting locked out of my password manager because I didn't properly write down the password. So I was able to go back and thanks to everyone's suggestions there, just watch the video and get the password back and change everything before someone took it over. So we're good to go now. But yeah, I think it's probably, where did my little password book go? I just had it. There it is. I think it's probably a good lesson for everybody. It's worth reviewing, just covering, how to properly save these passwords, because the idea behind a password manager is that it kind of saves all your passwords for you and manages them, and it'll create a very secure password on your behalf that you don't have to memorize. And then you just need to keep your master password safe and only known to you. And then you can log into your password manager, and it kind of does everything else for you when it comes to the passwords. So what I've done is written down the master password to my LastPass, and I've also written down the master password to my Proton Mail email account, because those two things, if I get locked out of my LastPass for some reason, I need to still be able to get into my email. So those two logins are going to be the only ones that I really need to write down. Everything else can live inside that password manager. In addition to those passwords, I also want to write down and record the two-factor authentication key when I'm setting up, that I get from setting this up. I showed you how to do that for Proton Mail in the last video in part one. I did not get to doing that for LastPass because of obviously getting locked out and not writing it down correctly. So I think that's where I'm going to start tonight. Just real quickly here, let's log into LastPass. And I think, let's see here. I'm not sure if y'all can see that. I think my face might be in the way. But this is the email I created last time, and I've got my master password here, ready to go. And look how fast I can type. Boy, that was really quick. All right, let's log in. Okay, so yeah, I'm still on my free trial here. Now I can see here I've got my Proton Mail email. If I open up my vault here, and I go to edit, I can see here's my two-factor key. And obviously this is a throwaway count. I'm never going to really do a whole lot with this. It's just for demonstration purposes. So I don't mind showing you this two-factor key. If I was to lose my phone, I could get a new phone and then reinstall Google Authenticator and OTP, one of the open source ones like Aegis, two-factor services, input this key into that, and then now I would have my two-factor code back, and I can, along with my password, I can now log into my Proton Mail, and we're good to go. This key I have also written down on my backup notepad here, my little paper copy. That you need to have both the password and the 2FA key written down and backed up. It can't live only in LastPass in case something happens to your LastPass. So, yep, that's Proton Mail. And now I want to set up my two-factor for LastPass. And I'm trying to remember here. It's been a minute since I've done this. Let's see here. Multi-factor options. Okay. So, yep. So I went here I opened up my vault for LastPass. I went to account settings, and then I went to multi-factor options. I'm going to be doing Google Authenticator. They have quite a few other options in here. Salesforce Authenticator. Okay, I didn't know they had that. That's weird. YubiKey, that one's pretty cool. I haven't really used any. I literally have not used any of these other ones, just only Google. So, and that's probably the most common one. So, yep, download and install the Google Authenticator application on your mobile device. Yep, did that. View your barcode and scan it using the Google Authenticator application. So what we're going to do here is we're going to enable it, permit offline access. Yes. And now I've got my barcode. So this is what, actually I need to re-enter my password here. I've got my barcode. So this is what on my phone, I'm going to open up my Google Authenticator, hit the little plus sign for my camera, and then hit scan a barcode because it gives you two options, scan a barcode or add a key. I'm going to scan a barcode, hold my phone up, boom, it's in there. But now I'm not done. I need to view my private key. I have to put in my password here again. And now I need to record. I need to record this private key. So this key is going to be, actually, I don't want to copy that. I want to actually write that key down on my paper. So on my little password notebook, my offline password notebook, I have my password for LastPass. And now I'm going to have my two-factor authentication key for LastPass. And then I will have my Proton Mail email password and also my Proton Mail two-factor authentication key, the equivalent of what I'm writing down here just for my Proton Mail. Let's see, I think that's an L. X, I, Y, J, 5, 2. All right, so let's scan a QR code. And let's see, actually I need to come back here and view this barcode. Okay, there we go. All right, so I've got my barcode in there. And now I can hit update. And boy, I really asked me for my password quite a few times here. Run the Google Authenticator app on your mobile device and enter the code. So now I've got to go back to Google Authenticator. I've scanned the barcode, so I'm getting a little code called LastPass, and then it says my email. I got 31225. All right, and there we go. Now, whenever I log into my LastPass, I got to give my password, and I've got to give them this two-factor code. Much, much more secure than just the password itself. Basically, somebody's got to have access to my phone to be able to log into my LastPass, even if they somehow get their hands on my password. But my password is written down. It's not anywhere in a digital format. So they would also probably need to get their hands on my little notebook as well. So I'm feeling pretty secure right now. I've got LastPass locked down. I'm going to log into Proton Mail here. And I've got my Proton Mail locked down. Is this not the correct password? What's going on here? Huh. Well, I think, oh, you know what? I bet LastPass has that saved. I bet LastPass has the old password saved. There we go. For security reasons, verify you're not a robot. Okay. Oh, these are always fun. Boats. Those all look like boats. I guess I was acting like a robot. All right, so we're going to update that password. Okay, so now, again, I'm logging into Proton Mail. So I need to come back to Google Authenticator. And now I'll go to my Proton email and get that little 6-digit code. Put that one in there. Now I should be back into my Proton Mail. There we go. All right, a bunch of spam emails from LastPass. And that was me trying to recover it. I'll leave that one in there. Just get rid of those, clean it up a bit. Okay. So we're in LastPass. We're in our Proton Mail. We're now ready to start setting up our ledger. We've got a pretty good home base established here with our email and our password manager. So now we can start adding accounts. And everything we're kind of building on top of this home base of password manager and secure email is going to be much more secure because that's kind of the fallback. So if anybody wants to, get at our information to try and take over one of our accounts, they've got to really, really work much harder than that they would for, the average person who's just browsing Facebook and uses the same password everywhere and, doesn't have two-factor authentication installed on anything. So back here, so I've gone to, so now we're on to Ledger Nano S setup. Home base is created, it's secured, it's locked down. Let's set up our ledger and actually get our crypto wallets going. So ledger.com is the website that you want to go to, ledger.com. Make sure you only go to that because there's some fake versions of this and you'll download a malicious version of the Ledger Live software, which is not good. So I'll just click on download here. I went to downloads and I clicked on download. I'm on Windows and so I'm going to get the Windows app. Obviously, if you're on Mac or Linux, do something else. We'll just put this to my desktop, save it there. And let's see here. Now we got to open this bad boy up. All right, got my little security notification. Yes, I trust them. And we're going to put them in program files, and now it's installing. So the Ledger Live software program is how you is basically the interface to your Ledger Live hardware wallet device, the actual device, this thing here. There are other ways to interface with your Ledger. Oh, it did not reset. Oh, okay, so it's still on my account, but that's okay. We can still go through this. So basically the Ledger Live software app is the main way that you can interface with your Ledger Nano hardware wallet device. There are other ways to interface with your hardware wallet device, like mycrypto.com and a lot of, Monero and the Neo project all have wallets that are separate from Ledger Live, obviously, but they allow you to log in using your Ledger device. So just because a cryptocurrency isn't accessible through the Ledger Live software program does not mean that you cannot secure it on your Ledger Nano hardware device. They have a great list of crypto assets that they support here. So if you're not sure if you can hold a cryptocurrency on your Nano S or X, you can just search here for one of these, and we see here it's not supported yet on Ledger Live, but it is supported in their GUI wallet. So I can download their GUI wallet, When I install it and boot it up, it's going to say, hey, you want to log in using your Ledger? And I say yes. And so now my Monero is actually being stored on my Ledger, even though I'm not accessing it through Ledger Live. So that's something not everybody knows, I don't think. They think if it's not in the Ledger Live store, then it's all, it's not working. All right, so let me get set up here. I'm gonna actually move the camera and we're gonna show you how to set up a Ledger Live for the first time. All right. So I went to ledger.com, downloaded the Ledger Live software. I installed it. Now I'm going to open up my Ledger Nano S and go through the setup on the hardware device itself. If you are new to Ledger and doing all of this, you can actually, I want to say here, you can boot up Ledger Live and it'll give you some options and kind of walk you through the setup process. I've done it so many times that I can pretty much do it with my eyes closed. So I'm just going to show you like the actual inputs on the device itself instead of the little Ledger Live walkthrough that they give you if you boot up the software program. So, all right, hang on one sec here while I move my camera. And then we're going to just get after it. Okay. Right. Let's see, can everybody see this? All right, cool. Let's see, maybe I'll turn it more towards the light. There we go. Cool. All right, I'm gonna stop my screen share here. And now we can see I've got a Ledger Nano S in the original packaging. We've still got the plastic on it. I'm gonna unwrap that real quick. This guy here. While I'm doing this, if you guys have any questions, pop them into the chat there. And this setup takes a little bit of time. So yeah, if you got any questions, pop them in the chat there. I'll try and get to them. So okay, so I've just opened this thing up and sitting right there on top was my nice shiny little Ledger and a little glare here. Was my little Ledger and I pulled it out. This is the S, so you can see the screen is a little bit smaller on this guy. The X has a bigger screen. We've got two buttons here on the top, 1 and 2, and then we've got the on the end that it's kind of hard to see there, but that's where we actually plug it into the computer. Also in here, we've got this little thing on top. We'll pull him out. We've got some cards and we've got a little envelope that I'll open up here. And inside this envelope, we've got a bunch of, we've got some marketing cards, and then we've got these things that say recovery sheet on them. It looks like it's actually backwards for y'all, but that says recovery sheet. I've got three different copies of the same recovery sheet, and then on there you can see it's got a numbered 1 through 24. This is where I'm going to write down my seed phrase, and I got to make sure that no one ever sees this. Obviously, you all might see it, but if you're doing this at home for your own device, make sure that this is something that you want to keep very secret. And they give you 3 copies because the best way to secure it is to store a copy of your 24 seed words in 2 separate physical locations. So I know some people put a copy in the safe at their office, a copy at home. Some people put it in an envelope and put it in a safety deposit box, whatever you're most comfortable with. But basically, what's going to happen is you're going to set up your Ledger hardware wallet or really any hardware wallet, and the device will give you 24 words in a specific order. You need to write them down in a specific order. And then that is basically the backup to your device. So if you lose your Ledger here, you've got your 24 words. You can either buy another ledger, buy a different hardware device, pop those 24 words in, and be good to go pretty quickly. So that's what those cards are. And then obviously we've got the cord to plug it into the computer. And then we've got a this little dongle. I don't even know what that thing is. I guess it's like a keychain thing. So move that out of the way, and I'm going to plug this Nano in to my not my laptop, my desktop. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's make sure y'all can see this. Let's see. All right, so Russ, how is the Ledger wallet different than a Coinbase wallet, cold versus hard wallet? So the Ledger wallet is considered cold storage. I mean, it still is connected to the internet at the time that you plug it in and unlock it. So it's not like true cold storage is really like the keys are never connected to a device that touches the internet. But this is about as close as you can get without just really jumping through a lot of kind of tedious hoops. Because I mean, with security, there's always a trade-off between convenience and security. So usually, the easier it is to access something, the less secure it is. The harder it is to access something, the more secure it is generally the trade-off. So if you've got your Coinbase wallet, I think that's a mobile wallet on your phone. That's not nearly as secure. There's just a lot more attack vectors for somebody to get at some information on your phone, or to get you to to compromise the app. There's just quite a few more attack vectors with this Nano S that I've got. I'll make sure you guys can read that screen. It's not really, it's kind of blurry there. Wonder if I do that. No, that does not help at all. Okay, hold on. I got another idea. Let's see here. I'm just trying to get that in focus so y'all can read it. Bring it up closer. Does that do anything? Nope, not really. Well, I guess I will just narrate through it. I had a great plan to do this, and it looked sharp before, but it's kind of hard to read, unfortunately. Yep, Russ. Yep, good. That answered your question. Can you stake Tezos on a Ledger Nano S or X? I don't actually know that, David. I'm not familiar with staking Tezos. I mean, I haven't done it personally, so I'm not sure if you can or not. I would hope that you could. I would hope that the Tezos wallet allows Ledger, has Ledger support. If the Tezos wallet has Ledger support, you should be able to stake it, because really all you're doing is signing the transaction just like you would if you had a normal Tezos wallet. So as long as the Tezos wallet has support for the Ledger, you should be able to stake it through the Ledger. Okay, so I'll just read you guys the screen here. We're going to go through the setup process. I plugged it in and it says, welcome to the Nano S. That's really disappointing that I can't read that. No, that's just not, doesn't want to work. All right. So it says, welcome to the Ledger Nano S. I'm going to hit the right button here. It says press the left or right buttons to navigate. Left, right. I guess it's probably backwards for y'all. Press both buttons to validate. That's hitting both buttons at one time. And get start. Go to ledger.com/start. And so right now the screen is saying, do I want to set up as a new device? If I go to the right, it says restore from a recovery phrase. Those are basically my two options. So I can either set up as a new device where it'll give me a fresh set of 24 words, or if I had, run my Ledger over with my car, I could input a recovery phrase. So I would choose the option to restore from a recovery phrase. Because this is a fresh setup, I'm going to go back and do set up as a new device. So we're going to hit both buttons here. And now it says choose a PIN code. So I'll hit both buttons again. And now I'm going to choose my PIN code. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a real basic one. And you can have it, I think, up to 8 characters. I'm going to do the full 8 characters here, just for security purposes. Let's see here, and it always starts you on a random number, which makes it, I have a client who is unable to see, and it was really, he was trying to, if it started on the same number, he could log into his PIN code. Because it starts on a random number, he's unable to log into it. So Ledger, if y'all are listening, you got to help out the blind folks. It's really hard for them to get into crypto. They have to just like trust that people aren't going to screw them over, basically. There's not really any way for them to like self-custody things. And yeah, it's kind of a unfortunate usability issue, but in this crypto stuff is not always the easiest. So it's a tough problem. I understand that, but it would be nice to see a bit more accessibility, especially for the hardware wallets, because they're so important. Okay, so I put my PIN code in. It made me confirm it. I'm going to write down that PIN code on my little sheet there, and now it says, now the screen is telling me write down your recovery phrase. So I'm going to go to the right, and it gives me word number 1. I will write that down, and then I will go to word number 2, and I'll write that down. And these words, remember, these words need to be in order. They have to be in order. So make sure word number 1 is word number 1, and you're writing it down on that card in chronological order that they give it to you. And actually, I just realized I have a different ledger. So I'm actually not going to write down all 24 of these words, because it's going to take like 10 minutes. And then and then they make you verify them to ensure that you've written them down correctly. And that takes another bit of time. So I'm going to actually just skip that bit. I'm going to, we're going to pretend that I went all the way through this and wrote down all of my words, and then that I confirmed that I wrote these words down and entered them in here correctly. When you're doing this for yourself, you'll see exactly what I mean. It's pretty hard to misunderstand that bit of it. And that's it. After you do that and you confirm those 24 words, your ledger is now set up, and you can log into Ledger Live with it and begin adding accounts and updating the firmware. So that's going to be the next bit that I show everybody. So let's get off of the camera here, and we'll do a screen share. And where's my Ledger Live? There it is. Okay. So put the video back up here. Actually, you know what? I'll leave the video on where it's at. Okay. Let's see, let's drag this guy over. Cool. All right. Pull this other ledger up, log into that one. And I'll be able to walk you all through how to add some of these accounts once you've got your ledger set up. So just to recap real quick, the ledger setup, you just plug it in, read the little intro statements that they give you, telling you how to navigate. And then if you want to set up a new device, you've got to go to just click on set up a new device. If you want to recover it from an older set of 24 words, you click on recover the device. And then they'll give you, you'll either input your 24 words or you will get a fresh set depending on which option you chose. And then you'll confirm that. And then you'll be ready to log into Ledger Live with your Nano S. So let's see here. I need to put in my PIN code. I'm trying to remember what the PIN code is for this one. Let me get my password book here. Let's see here. It's gonna be okay. And it can get kind of tedious doing all this like over and over again, but it's really the best way to stay safe about with everything. The stakes are so high. I mean, if your crypto is gone, I mean it's gone. There's no calling anybody to get it back. There's you know, there's really no recourse. And so because of that, you know, a lot of this might seem kind of tedious and pointless. But it's your only defense against somebody, you know, getting a piece of malware onto your computer through an email or a link that you click, or, you know, trying to get your keys. Like you've got to take this stuff seriously, and you may never even notice that you may probably will not notice that someone tried to compromise your accounts. If you do everything correctly, your crypto will always be there, and you won't even know how many people tried to come and get it and come after it, unless they like really take over your computer. So I've entered in my passcode on this ledger. It magically set itself up and turned purple and says ETH Denver on it now instead of the plain one I had from before. The first thing that I want to do once I get into Ledger is I want to take a look up here at the top of the screen and see if it says anything about updating Ledger Live. Since I just downloaded the program, I'm on the most current version, so I don't need to update Ledger Live. That's the software program. So you need to keep the software program updated. You also need to keep the device that I'm holding here in my hand, the physical device, the firmware updated. So there's two things you have to keep updated with your Ledger: the Ledger Live software program that lives on your computer, which is what I'm looking at right now, and then the firmware on the physical device. So it looks like I don't have a big blue button up here that says update Ledger Live, so I know I'm on the most current version. Now I can come over here to the manager, and once I click on manager on the device itself, it'll ask me, hey, allow Ledger Manager on this device. And if I go to the right, it'll say deny it. If I go to the left, it'll say allow it, and then I'll hit both buttons. And now it is allowed to make changes to I've given it permission to make changes to the physical wallet. On this wallet, I've got, you can see I've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Monero. And when I scroll up here, I see Ledger Nano S. Firmware is up to date, 1.6.1. If it was not up to date, I would get a little button here that says update firmware, and then I would click on that, and that would update the firmware on my actual device. So I check up here at the top to make sure Ledger Live is fully up to date. I come into Ledger Manager and look at my firmware, make sure my firmware is up to date. And then the last thing that I need to do is check and see that my wallets that I have on here are up to date. And I can see here it says updates available. There's 3 of them. My Bitcoin, Ethereum, and my Monero wallet are all out of date because it's been a while since I logged into this ledger. So I need to update those. If you're doing a fresh install, excuse me, if you're doing a fresh install, you're not going to have anything to, no, you're not going to have any wallets to update. So you won't need to do that. What you would do if this was a freshly installed, and you know what, here, I'll just delete these so we can, for educational purposes. And I'll show you guys how to add the actual support for different cryptocurrencies onto your device itself. It's pretty easy. You just come to Manager, allow Ledger Manager, and then they've got a gigantic app catalog here that you can search through. Obviously, I had Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Monero on there, And so you just come down here, you type in Bitcoin, or you just scroll down till you find it, install that. Ethereum, install that. And let's see here, let's find Monero. There's Monero, install that. Now they're queued up and we can see, actually we can't see the progress bar. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we got Bitcoin. Now they're putting the Bitcoin wallet on there. Now we're putting the Ethereum wallet on there. Then I'll put the Monero wallet on there. And obviously, since I'm freshly installing these, I won't need to update them. But if I was to come back, a month from now and log back into this ledger, I would probably see, hey, you need to update your wallet. So it's actually 3 things you need to keep updated with your hardware wallet: the Ledger Live software program, the firmware on the device itself, and then the wallets that are installed to your device. So those 3 things all need to be kept updated. You don't need to constantly be updating them, but if you haven't logged on in a while and you get back on, just make sure everything is up to date before you start sending cryptocurrency, because there's nothing more frustrating than trying to send some crypto and it just doesn't work, it's not working. You're doing everything right, you can't figure it out, and it turns out you forgot to update the wallet, or you forgot to update the Ledger firmware, and that's the only reason it's not working. You've been banging your head against the wall for an hour. So yeah, that's firmware, software, and wallets on the device. Once you've done that, what you next need to do is come up here and add some accounts. So right now, you can see I've got Ethereum, I got Bitcoin, I guess I have Algorand, okay, Dogecoin, and what you need to do now, just assume that these accounts are not here. You come down here, you add an account, and you just need to choose a crypto asset. So let's go with Polkadot. Actually, you know what? I can't do that because I don't have the wallet on here. So I have to add either an Ethereum or a Bitcoin one. So we'll add another Bitcoin account. Why not? So yep, I want to add a Bitcoin account to my Ledger Live software program. I'm going to hit continue, and it's going to say, okay, hey, you need to open up the Bitcoin app on your device. And so on my device, it says open Bitcoin app with a check mark. I'm going to hit both buttons, and I hear a little tone, and I see that it's now loading. It takes a little bit to synchronize, and once it's done synchronizing, I'll get to choose the name for my account, and then I can confirm it, and I can either add some more accounts or I can just be done with it. So while this thing synchronizes, again, it's a good time for questions. If you have any there, pop them in the chat. Let's see. Oh, okay, so this native SegWit thing, you want to be on native SegWit. That's going to be the cheapest transaction fees for Bitcoin, I believe. Maybe other than the Lightning Network, but that's we're not touching that today. So yeah, you want to be on native SegWit. I can now name this account. I'll just name it Bitcoin Demo. All right, we're done synchronizing. And if you wanted to use like a legacy address, you could, like SegWit or legacy, but just use the cheapest one. It'll save you some money, or save you some Bitcoin, really. So, okay, add account. If I wanted to add Ethereum or a bunch of other ones, I could do that. But remember, to add an account, you've got to approve it on the device. So you've got to already have that wallet installed through the manager, which is why the order of what I did everything in when I opened up Ledger Live is very important. Update the Ledger Live software program first, then check your firmware, make sure your firmware is updated, update that. Then make sure your wallets are updated, your Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero wallets. And then after that, now you can go and you can add your accounts. Like I just showed you right here. I just added a Bitcoin account. So I'm going to be done for now. I'm going to hit done. Now I see I've got this account right here. I don't have anything in it because I just created it. But if I wanted to receive some, if I bought some Bitcoin on Coinbase or wherever, I wanted to receive some here, I can click on receive, and I can choose which account, which account I want to use. I'll use my demo account, and I hit continue, and it'll give me a deposit address And this is where on Coinbase, this address here, if I had some Bitcoin on Coinbase, I would start a withdrawal on Coinbase, and I would send it to this address. And then when that withdrawal goes through, I would now, Coinbase would send me some Bitcoin to this address. I'd now be holding my Bitcoin on this ledger. And I would like to demonstrate that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get there tonight. We've only got about 20 more minutes. But you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the hardware wallet setup. I'm trying to think if well, yeah, I want to show setting up the exchange. That's the next bit. And then if we have the time, show a transfer. So okay, so let's stop this share and let's go back to showing you all my face. Move this camera here. There we go. All right, clean this up. And if you're stuck on that screen that I was just stuck on there and it wouldn't let me get off it on the device itself, you've got to go all the way to the right, hit that right button until it says approve. And then once you approve it, that screen will go away and you'll have control back over the Ledger Live software. Okay, so that's the hardware wallet. Yeah, again, if you all have any questions, pop them there in the chat. And now I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to come back to Brave here. Where's my Brave browser? There we go. All right. Chip, have you heard of YubiKey? It sounds like it could be a safer way to go. Yes, I have heard of YubiKey. It is probably more, I'm not a cybersecurity like professional. I mean, I know a ton about it just from the crypto stuff. I would imagine that, I mean, the YubiKey's got to be more secure. It's its own separate device. It generates that stuff and you plug it in. I would say that it's probably a little more difficult to use than Google Authenticator in terms of the setup. So depending on like how comfortable you are with technology and things like that, it might be easier to set up Google Authenticator, although it is probably more secure to use YubiKey. You know, for my own personal funds, I do use the two-factor. I do not use the YubiKey because I feel like there's enough security there that I don't need that additional security a YubiKey would provide. But if that's something you're concerned about, absolutely go for it. I know I've heard a lot of great things about it. I mean, I have used them. I just don't actively use them, and not for anything wrong with them. Just it's just a little bit more convenient to use the two-factor TOTP for me. So I've chosen to do that. But yeah, definitely don't let me talk you out of using a YubiKey. They're great. Karen, what's the difference between the Nano S and the Nano X? So on that screen, well, I just closed Ledger Live here. Let me bring it back up. Let's see here, give it a minute. I'll show you real quick. It's just easier to show you than to explain it. Okay, where's my new share here? Okay, so under the manager here. Oh, now I unplugged everything. Okay, so I'm not going to show it to you. Sorry. Basically, the difference is the amount of storage space on it. The Ledger Nano S is a smaller, older version, but they both do the exact same thing and they both pretty much work identically. What the difference is there's only space for about 3 wallets simultaneously on the Nano S, as in Sierra, that one I just showed you how to set up. On the X, you can probably get like 10 to 15 wallets on there simultaneously. So what does that mean? So obviously Ledger supports a ton. I mean, like I think hundreds of different cryptocurrencies. The S and the X both support all of those cryptocurrencies. To my knowledge, they support the same list. But you can only hold 3 of those wallets on the Nano S at one time. So if I've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Monero on there, and then I've also got some Polkadot, I have to go into my Ledger Live. I've got to go to the manager. I've got to delete one of those 3 wallets. So let's say I delete the Ethereum wallet. Now I have enough space on there to install the Polkadot wallet. And now, I can get my deposit address. I can send my funds over to my Polkadot address that the Ledger is provided. So now my Polkadot's being held on my Ledger. But I removed my Ethereum wallet. So what happens if I want to use Ethereum? Well, now I've got to go in and now I've got to delete the Polkadot wallet and reinstall the Ethereum wallet. And the nice thing with the Ledger is when I say delete the wallet, you're not losing access to the funds. You're just losing access to the interface to access the funds. So temporarily, you're not able to access your Ethereum wallet because the wallet is not installed. But the second that you reinstall that wallet, all of your funds are there just, waiting for you, basically. And that's getting a little technical here, but that's really because, the Ethereum doesn't actually, or the cryptocurrency doesn't actually reside on the ledger, the hardware wallet itself. It resides in the blockchain, out kind of in the, on the shared ledger that everybody is participating and maintaining. That's where the cryptocurrency actually kind of like exists, if you want to call it that. What your ledger has is the private keys that control the access to the cryptocurrency for a specific account. So I think of it, like kind of like the keys or the combination to a safe. The actual safe where everything is stored. That's the blockchain ledger. That's where the crypto is stored, is in the safe. Your private keys are just the combination that allows you to access it and take things in and put things in and out of the safe. And so the private keys are what the ledger secures. And so, it's effectively, at the end of the day, it's the same difference, really. Like if you've got your private keys and nobody else has them, you can think of it like you own that cryptocurrency. You don't have possession of it because it just exists out on the internet. But you're the only one with access to it. So it's kind of like you do own it. It's kind of like you do have possession of it. So hopefully that's not too confusing, but basically, the only difference between the S and the X is the size of the hardware or the hard drive on the storage space. You can put more wallets on there simultaneously. But you can really have every single coin that they support on your ledger. It just may take a while to move everything because you got to uninstall and reinstall wallets. Okay, so I just talked everybody's ear off there for 5 minutes. I wanted to set up an exchange account. And so I'm going to do that. Let's go. What exchange do I want to set up? I'm trying to think here. I like Kraken because they have Monero. If you can't tell, I'm pretty biased towards Monero. And I think it's the only truly fungible cryptocurrency. Well, it's not the only one. There are other fungible cryptocurrencies, but they have the best privacy preserving tech, in my opinion. And that makes them the most fungible or the most likely to remain fungible into the future. And awesome community. They have like the 3rd highest number of nodes and transaction volume behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. So in my opinion, they should be the number 3 market cap crypto. I think they're like number 22, just based on the usage of the project. And I know their privacy tech is top notch too. They got some PhD, super smart people, and a really vibrant community of developers and users that make it a really cool project. So yeah, that's my Monero shill. Pirate coin, I don't know what they're doing that's different than Monero. The Pirate R is like, it's definitely a private cryptocurrency, but I don't see like, how are they going to beat Monero? Because that's kind of their competition, I think. But all right, anyway, I'm getting I'm getting off topic here. So, all right. So Kraken.com. This is the exchange I've chosen to set an account up on. I think my face is blocking it, but once I go to Kraken.com, I've got an option to sign in here, or I can create an account. Obviously, I'm going to click on create an account, and because I already have a Kraken account. I can't actually like go through the full KYC process here. But I'll show you as much as I can without having to do the identity verification. And unfortunately, the identity verification is like the hardest part of this whole thing. Setting up of the account is not that complicated, but trying to get your pictures and everything to not be blurry is can be kind of burden, kind of tiring and tedious. Okay, so we got DCG beginners at protonmail.com. My email, I guess we'll just do DCGMatt. And now my password, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to generate a secure password. We got all the good things. Here's my password. We're going to fill that in, and you're going to ask it, do we want to add that? Yes, we definitely want to add that to my password manager. So now we've got a super secure password, and we've got, and it's saved into our LastPass. And yep, my country, my state. Yeah, I agree to your terms of service, even though I didn't read them and I really should have. Let's create an account. Okay, no, this is the pop-up from Brave. They're asking me to save my password. Never, go away. I have a password manager. And browser password managers are just not the most secure thing. I really don't. I wish they wouldn't offer them, but they do. Okay, so we sent an email. They sent me an email code here. Let me refresh this and activate your Kraken accounts. Okay. I guess I just got to click this link, or no, here's my little activation code. So I will copy that. And I'm not worried about writing down my password and email to Kraken because it's in my LastPass. And because I've written down my password and my two-factor authentication key for LastPass, if somehow I, get logged out and I can't remember my password, I've got both those things written down. So I'll be able to get back into my LastPass, which means I'll be able to get back into my Kraken. So there's my code. We'll activate it. And okay, we got a bunch of pop-ups. That's always fun. And so here's our Kraken interface. Very first thing I want to do is I want to go and I set up my 2FA. Sorry, here I went up here to my account. I went to security and I went to 2FA settings. And clicked on that. And then this took me to this page here. Sign in, two-factor authentication, funding, two-factor authentication, trading, two-factor authentication. So I can set up 2FA for all three, for like different things. And here, Chuck, here's your YubiKey. You can use your YubiKey to sign in here. Not everywhere offers YubiKey, but I know LastPass does, and obviously Kraken does. So nice, that's great. Okay, what was I saying here? So basically, we want to set up all of these. It's kind of a lot to manage, but it's going to be the most secure way. If somebody does manage to get into your account, they've got all these different 2FAs, so they can't withdraw anything without this 2FA. They can't trade anything without this 2FA. And now actually that I say that out loud, you know what? I think all I really care about is sign in and funding. If somebody wants to trade my cryptocurrency because they get access to my account, you know what, go for it. But I don't want you to be able to move it off of the exchange, which is the funding. I don't want you to, you shouldn't be able to even get in the first place, and that's the sign in. So let's activate that. All right, so that's your YubiKey. So we're going to do the 2FA app. And so here's my code. So I'm going to scan this. I'm going to open up my Google Authenticator, and I'm going to scan this code. So hit the little plus button, scan a QR code, hold it up, boom, there it goes. I'm not done yet though. You need to view the setup key. Here's my setup key. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come up here to LastPass, And for this particular I just opened my vault here. So for Kraken, I'm going to go to edit under my notes, 2FA. Here's my secret, paste that in there. I'm going to save that. So now if I lose my phone and I need to get back into Kraken, I can do so. And actually, you know what? I should have labeled that. This is going to be sign in 2FA. I'm about to go set up funding 2FA. So we'll save that, come back to Kraken, and now I've got to enter that code in that they gave me. Oh, it just changed on me. And okay, now we're good. You've enabled sign in 2FA. Awesome. Funding, I'm going to turn that on. Now I'm going to get I'm getting a different two-factor code here. So I'm going to scan this with my phone. There it goes. Now I'm going to view my setup key, copy that. And this is for funding. Come back to my vault, my funding 2FA, paste that in there, and we'll save it. All right. So actually, I got to put this code in here before. There we go. All right. Okay. 2FA applies to the following actions: withdrawing and transferring funds. Yeah, I don't care. Somebody wants to deposit funds into my Kraken. You know what? Go for it. You don't need the 2FA. If you want to withdraw it, yeah, you're going to need the 2FA. Okay, a master key. This acts as an account recovery key if you lose or forget your sign in 2FA. It's not what I want to say here. I don't have mine set up because I kind of trust my backup method. But I guess if I got locked out of my last pass and I had written down my master key, then it would make sense. As a rule of thumb, I don't keep a lot of money on the exchange. I prefer to keep it in a ledger. So the security setup that I do for my Kraken is not like as strict as it would be if I had like tens of thousands of dollars on here. If I was like a day trader, I was trading, 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever, then I would have every single one of these. I would have my 2FA for funding, my 2FA for trading. I would have my master key. I would set all of this up if I had a large amount of funds on here. But because I really only use the exchange as kind of a pass-through entity to get my fiat into the cryptocurrency world and then just immediately take it to my ledger where I can do whatever I want with it. I don't set all these up. So I don't want you to think that you don't need to do it. It just depends on your particular kind of threat model. If you got a lot of money on here, definitely set all this stuff up. But I'm not going to show I guess it's the same thing. A master key, you need to sign in. So the app, interesting. I guess you can do a password instead. Okay, so it's a little more complicated, but if you're going to set up the master key, I would definitely write it down on paper. And you can back it up in your last pass as well, but write this one down on paper. So yep, looks like it's 8 o'clock. I still wanted to go through making a transfer with everybody. And then also how to set up your portfolio tracking. I did a stream a while back just on like portfolio strategy. But I have a nice template for Google Sheets that I use to track all of my crypto positions and my holdings. And so I think I'm going to do a part 3 for this, and I'm going to excuse me. I'm going to do a part 3 for this, and I'm going to show transferring cryptocurrency from an exchange to the ledger. And then I'm going to show tracking your portfolio using the template that I built. And I'll share the template with everybody. So that, yeah, and I think that should be a pretty complete beginner's introduction to cryptocurrency. Sorry, it looks like we got one last question. Chip, what's up? I know there's a little delay on this, so you probably didn't hear it right as I said it. All right, we're gonna sign out. Stop the share there. Like out of the camera frame. Let's see here. Thanks, Troy. Yeah, thanks for coming out. Good to see you. I see David there. Good to see you, David. Karen, Chip, you've been here, and D Russ. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know if this is your first time or not, but yep, Chip, if you got a question, pop it in the chat there. Otherwise, if you don't have the money in the exchanges, how do you stay invested in, say, Ethereum from Kraken? So what I do is I will put my fiat money from my bank account into Kraken. And so let's say I want to buy $1,000 of Ethereum, or I want to turn $1,000 of Ethereum into, I want to take $1,000 and turn it into Ethereum. There we go. I would deposit $1,000 from my bank onto Kraken. I would use that $1,000 to buy Ethereum from Kraken. And then as soon as I've done that, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to withdraw the Ethereum to my Ledger hardware wallet. So that's how I keep my funds off of the exchange. I want my funds to be on my Ledger. I don't want to, I don't want them to be on the exchange, because if Kraken is having a bad day, everybody's using it, the market's moving and it's lagging, or it's down, it goes down. All of my crypto that's on Kraken is frozen. I can't access it. So like, Bitcoin's crashing or running up and I really want to make a move, to sell or to buy some more. Kraken's not working. That's where all my funds are. Wow. Okay. I guess I don't get to play today. Whereas if I have it on my Ledger, that's under my control. I control those keys. That's called self-custody. I could send it to, I could make a Binance account. I could send my Ethereum to Binance and sell it. I could make a Coinbase account. I could do, I could just do a decentralized, I could go to Uniswap and, make a trade there, like Ethereum versus wrap Bitcoin or something like that, or stable coin, whatever. So I have way more options when I'm keeping that cryptocurrency on my hardware wallet versus just keeping it on the exchange, where it's up to the exchange to give me access to my cryptocurrency. If it's on my Ledger, I'm in control. I can send it wherever I'd like to, and I don't need anybody else to give me permission. When it's on Kraken, I need Kraken's permission. So, yep, that's it. And yeah, thanks everybody. Stay tuned for part 3. I think I'm doing NFTs next. And then I'm going to do part 3, and then I want to be doing live events. So, I think the NFTs are coming up on the 12th, which is a week from Wednesday, if I can do the math there correctly. So next Wednesday, we're going to do a thing all about NFTs. And then probably the week after that, I will do part 3 of the beginners. So that would be the 22nd, or wait, no, what did I say? The 12th. That would be the 19th. Is going to be beginners night part 3. And then after that, I want to be doing some live events. So end of the month, that's the plan. We can hopefully meet up in person. I'll be vaccinated by then, so we're still going to do social distancing and masks probably, or not probably. We will be, but yeah, I just want to see everybody in person and actually just kind of start meeting up. So yeah, stay tuned for that. If you want to join the email list, just go to the website and sign up, denvercryptogroup.com. I'll put you on the list and send out updates for whatever we're doing. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I hope you all got something out of it. If you have any questions or want any help with consulting, Matt, M-A-T-T, at denvercryptogroup.com. And yeah, be safe, good luck, and see what these crypto markets keep doing. They're pretty exciting lately. All right, y'all. Thanks. Bye.